Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Secure the Seat Live. My name is Minda Harts, and I'm your host. If it's your first time joining us, welcome. You're already part of the family. But if you've been rocking with us for a very long time, you know that you're already part of the squad. And so let us know, how was your weekend? Hopefully, you had a good weekend. Not sure what you did. Finally, here in California, it stopped raining for a little bit. So it was nice to get out and all of the things. But I'm excited for today's episode because it's Women's History Month. So happy Women's History Month to everybody who's celebrating, which all of you hopefully should be. Drop somebody's name in the chat of someone that you want to amplify or just like say their name. That's very important for us. I know that most of us are watching us on LinkedIn right now, but then there's some of you who are watching on Facebook and um, YouTube and Twitter. And so welcome, welcome, welcome. We're just happy that you're here. And today I'm really excited because I don't often get to start my Monday off with Kanika Tolver, who, if you've been watching Secure the Seat, she's a friend of the show, always bringing the heat. And I thought, there's a lot going on in the world around layoffs, and just many of us are probably trying to figure out what we want to do next, where we want to go, how do we rebuild if things have been tough. It's a tough time for a lot of people right now. And so I thought, who else could I bring? Kanika Tolver, to discuss rehabbing your career during tough times. So without further ado, I know I was joking around with my partner in Shine Mike that I had to get my tambourine because I just know that I would have to use it today. And so I could not be without it. So I'm going to bring Kanika up to the stage. Kanika, how are you?
Hey, how you doing?
Good to see you.
Nice to see you too. It's been a while.
It has been a while. and it's been a while, girl. I have to do better. But for those who may not know who you are, they might be sleeping under a rock. You let them know who Career Rehab CEO is, just in case for the people in the back, okay?
Hey everybody, my name is Kanika Tolver. I am from the Washington, D.C. area, and I am the author of this amazing book called Career Rehab. So I launched this book about maybe 2 years ago, right before the pandemic started. And, I am Twitter Spaces queen. They have given me the crown. So I host Twitter Spaces regularly online where I talk about career development, transitioning into tech, even about this topic today about how we're going to rehab our careers so we can transition and level up. So I do a lot of things, but that's kind of a few things that I am known for.
Awesome. And we'll make sure that we drop Kanika's information in the chat so that you have it. But let's get started, Kanika. I don't know about anybody who's watching us today, but if they've experienced a layoff, if they've had tough times, I know even for my business, things have slowed down just because of the nature of corporate America. They're holding onto their purse strings a little tighter these days. So we're all experiencing, something going on in the world. And so my first question to you is, many are experiencing this like tough time and uncertainty about the future of our careers, our lives, period. What are 2 tips to help folks rehab their career and see this time period as an opportunity?
I think the first thing is that we have to shift our mindset from being an employee to being a brand. I think that what we've seen with the company layoffs is that people were committed to being with the company for 15, 20 years. They got laid off. They had an employee mindset, right? They didn't know that this was going to happen to them. So they had a lot of loyalty to the employer, right? But the loyalty should be to your brand and to the education and the experience that you bring to the table. So I think we got to shift our mindsets to looking at ourselves like little CEOs, little businesses, right? Because if we do that, we can create new opportunities for ourselves, and we won't be leaning into saying like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened to me." You will start to see yourself as a business, and you will see that decision, maybe a layoff or maybe they're doing a reorg, is nothing but another business decision. And we have to look at our careers like businesses.
Listen, the gems are coming in hot already. To look at ourselves as mini CEOs, because essentially we are, right? We are the CEOs of our lives, of our careers. And so we have to look at ourselves like a brand. I love that so much.
And I wanted to say the second thing, because I think you asked for two, right? I think the second thing is that we have to focus on who's hiring. I think we got so conditioned, especially for us in tech. We were so disappointed at all the companies that were hiring because we were fans of these companies, right? But we need to focus on who is hiring, who are the companies that are hiring, and not be so emotionally connected to who's laying off, because there's still organizations and companies that are hiring. So like I like to tell people to go on Google and put in the Google search companies hiring, tech companies hiring, if you're in the technology industry or whatever industry that you're in. So we want to focus on not who's laying off, but who's going to help us level up, because that's where our energy should be put towards. And I think that if we start to look at those opportunities, we will see that there's many articles, many spreadsheets of companies that are actively still hiring.
Listen, tag somebody in LinkedIn. We have almost 100 people on LinkedIn watching us right now, Kanika alone. Okay, so tag somebody on LinkedIn, because everybody, whether you're going through it right now, hopefully you won't have to go through it later, but we're all going to have a point where we have to start to level up, rebuild, re-strategize. So don't wait till the layoff comes. Don't wait for anything. So Kanika's giving you those tools right now, and also grab her book. We put her information in the chat. But the thing that I really want to just echo of what you said, it looks just like that, in case you were confused when you get on your But the thing is, don't focus on all the places that are laying off, because let me tell you, I just spoke last week at a company, and I can say their name, Instacart. I spoke at Instacart last week, and they're having a great hiring over there, right? But if you're, but there are many tech companies who are laying off, right? Some of the Facebooks and the thises and the that's. And if you were only focused on them, then yeah, it's defeating. It's putting you in an enemy state of mind. But there are so many companies that are thriving right now and that are hiring, right, Kanika?
Yes, there's so many companies that are actively hiring. And I think that we don't want to focus on, who's laying off, because that causes anxiety. That causes us to feel defeated. So instead of turning, we want to turn our anxiety into accomplishments. We want to focus on and building a list of who's hiring, right? It's kind of like a dating app, right? We want to look at who's available, who's ready for a new career relationship with you, and focus on putting your profile and your resume out there to those companies.
That's a word right there. Because just because one didn't work out doesn't mean you're never going to date again, right? I know you talk a lot about dating jobs, and so make sure that you do that, because sometimes our jobs or whatever are a season, a reason, and a lifetime. So definitely get out there and do that. The next part that I want to chat with you about, Kanika, is okay, so people are looking, they're doing the things that your book talks about, that we're talking about this morning. But some people will say, you know what, well, back in the day, I can go to career fairs, or I could go to, open houses for the jobs. And now, since the pandemic, networking looks different. It's daunting. We're in this hybrid. I don't want to go to online bingo. I don't want to do all the things that are happening, but we still have to build relationships, because relationships help us also build our career. So how can people still build a network in 2023?
Look, we got to get off these internet streets. We got to get back into the real street, because outside is open, right? So it's really a lot of opportunities that are returning back. I want to, step through a few places and that people can go to look for opportunities. So the first place that, if I was looking for an opportunity right now, I would go to meetup.com. I would create a profile on meetup.com in my city. I'm in DC, so I would go to meetup.com and I would go to career related events on a monthly basis. I would join different groups. What you can do is you can create a profile and join several different types of groups. So if I'm in tech, I'm going to join a lot of career related tech groups. And I'm going to go to these face-to-face events in my city. I'm going to make sure that I show up. I'm going to make sure that I'm there to network with people that it may be a topic that's going on for that day, right? So they may be talking about a technology, they may be talking about a platform. So I'm building my relationships with meetup.com with my career goals. I'm matching them up together. So I'm going there and I'm joining people that I don't know. And I'm standing in a room of people and I'm drinking wine, beer, water, pizza. but I'm also making sure that I go in and I conversate with people and let them know that I'm looking for a new opportunity. This is where the experts are, the hiring managers are. This is where you're going to meet other professionals who can refer you into the system. The next place is conferences. Conferences are, I mean, they're alive and kicking now. In-person conferences is another great place to go. And I would also focus on more intimate conferences, because that's a great place where you can develop and foster real intimate relationships. Sometimes we want to go to the big conferences because they're popular, but sometimes it's overwhelming for us to network. So look at small and medium and big conferences to go to. And the next place, I would definitely try to grow where I'm planted. And this is for people that got a job. This means that you need to show up to the happy hours. You need to go to the holiday parties. You need to be at the all hands meetings, because sometimes we can get promoted from right where we are, but sometimes we're trying to leave that relationship, but maybe there can be some, we can reconcile, we can get through some things, and maybe you can talk to other industry experts in your company and see if there's opportunities in another group.
Yes, yes, and yes. All great places. Meetup.com, conferences, big and small, local. First of all, you're on LinkedIn, so people, the streets are talking on LinkedIn, right, Kanika? So they need to get their profiles up. Get your dating profile up. Get ready. Yes. Don't have the old picture that don't look like you know more. Don't have the old skills that don't represent what you've been leveling up to. But put yourself out there. Kanika said it at the top of the hour. You are the brand, right? You are the brand. Anything else you want to add, Kanika?
Yeah, I mean, I think LinkedIn is one of the best places to network. I think the thing that I want to caution people about networking online is that you want to make sure that you're not a taker, that you're a giver. And when I say that, I mean that if I reached out to Minda for a job, I want to make sure that I have built a relationship with Minda, that I've reshared her content, that I have interacted with her content, that I have purchased her book, that I have also made sure that I'm cheering her on. Some people are just using LinkedIn as an opportunity to hit people up for a job in the DMs. And sometimes it ain't going down in the DMs. Sometimes you need to be focused on networking like a hustler. You need to make sure that you are strategic in how you build your relationships on LinkedIn, and that you are also willing to support, but then you're also willing to ask, but don't always just be a taker.
Listen, people come into my inbox and they want to network with me, and then they'll start, I do book marketing. I think you'd be great writing a book. Bro, like, did you not look at my LinkedIn page? I got 3 books out. Like, talk to me nice. Tell me something. I don't know. Like, take the time to get to know me. Look at my profile. What are the synergies? What can we open up? So LinkedIn is a great place for us to network. We're all here together. If you want to connect, drop your LinkedIn profile in the chat so that people can follow you here on LinkedIn as well. But listen, closed mouths don't get fed. And if Kanika mentioned at your job, even there's room for growth, right? So maybe you don't want to leave right now, but it's going to require you for people to, my biggest piece of advice to add on to what Kanika said is, if you're on the video chat, many are still working from home, don't always have your camera off. Let people see your face, okay? Like, if you're still in it to win it, when people are talking about something, use the chat, chime up. Maybe you can't put your camera on today, but don't count yourself out just from where you are.
I love that. Love that last piece of advice.
Thank you. The next part is, this is just going so fast. I seen Adam in the chat. He said, is there going to be some sneaker references? We might get to that.
hold your horses. We can get it.
We might get to that. But first, my next question, Kanika, is, recently, I know you do your thing on Twitter. We both like to play on Twitter. Recently, you had a Twitter post saying, "Go fishing, Kanika." What did you mean by that, and how can our viewers begin to fish for new skills, careers, etc.?
So that tweet, I don't have 3 books, but I got 1. So that tweet was really about, like, how I have become an author and how I've studied the game of publishing and writing books. And I look at it the same way as with a career. So I had tweeted out that, I studied how to write a book, how to market a book, and how to sell a book. So I purchased different books. I watch a lot of YouTube channels about publishing a book. And then I also made sure that I connected with other authors that had already been in the game. So I apply these same types of tips to my career. So if it was me and I was looking to transition into a new opportunity, we got to go fishing. The go fishing piece at the last part of that tweet was from my college professor. When I got into the computer science department, I was struggling really, really bad in my first programming class. And he said, you're going to have to learn to go fishing early. And I'm like a freshman. I'm like, what do you mean go fishing? He's like, you're going to have to go learn how to find the answer. I'm not going to be here to tell you how to get to point A to point B all the time. And at the time, my last name was Drew. He was like, Drew, go fishing. And it was one of the most hardest things to hear being a freshman in college, but it was the most important piece of advice that I had, because he was like, you're not going to have all the information, all the resources, but you have to become the human resource. You're going to have to get out there and find it. So I want people to understand that we already have the bait, the worm, to put on our rod. It's just really about how are we going to push it out there into the water so we can, like, pick up a big fish. And that big fish could be for your career. It could be getting a salary increase. It can be getting a new promotion. But you're going to have to do a few things. And the few things that I wanted to share is that first, people are going to have to learn how to research. It's the 3 R's. We're going to go over the 3 R's. We're going to have to learn how to research. I get so frustrated with people asking me questions that they could Google themselves. In this economy and in this job market, you're going to have to be even more inclined to research. So that means going out, using Google, making sure that you're reading white papers, reading blogs, reading articles. A lot of the information about making career transitions is already out there on the internet, or someone already wrote a book. That leads me to the next R, is read. We need to read more. There's so many people publishing amazing career development books, and the answers are already in these books. So reading is so important. It's like one of the most valuable things that has helped my career. And once we read and we realize what we don't understand and the skills that we don't have, we need to reevaluate. What skill sets do I don't have? I've researched, I've read. Now let me reevaluate. If the job posting is telling me that I need these amount of skill sets, I need to go take a Udemy course. I need to get a certification. I need to go on Coursera and take a course. I need to sign up for a cost-effective boot camp. So when we research, we read and reevaluate where we are, we can level up because we have the information. But a lot of times we are waiting for people to give us the answers, and we need to go fishing.
Listen, if I had on different kind of pants that actually matched the top I had on, and I do a praise dance here in my office, but I can't show the pants I have on right. You are preaching. Listen, research, read, reevaluate, them 3 R's, right? We have everything we need accessible to us. Think about this. I often think about 30, 40 years ago, there was no internet. Access to certain things were a lot different. People were still figuring out how to make moves, right? Now that we have so many more tools, like Kanika said, the bait, the worm, we got access beyond our wildest dreams, globally, locally, okay? Don't tell me we can't go fishing. Don't tell me that you can't go get that job. Don't tell me that there's not more for you in 2023, because right here alone, you can listen to this on replay. You might say, well, I don't have support. I don't have this and that. You got us on Mondays. You got this. Tag somebody in the chat because they need to hear it today and the rest of the week. You have everything that you need. Get Kanika's book, get my books, listen to the podcast. I mean, listen, you have everything you need to go and just kill it this week, today, whatever. Any other Deacon Tolver, any final little
the heart. I was just so enthusiastic about your message. And I just want to say, information without implementation is incomplete. Information without implementation is incomplete. I don't want people to get so consumed with trying to overdose on a bunch of information that they lack implementation. Because it requires execution to do this, right? We can go to Twitter Spaces, we can go to LinkedIn Live, we can go to all the conferences, we can listen to all the podcast shows, read all the books. But if we don't execute, there's no value in just absorbing all of that information. So please implement.
Listen, that's the final word. Implement. Okay, that's the bonus, the extra. You know, when you're in the drive-through and sometimes they give you the extra fry. That was the extra fry. Okay,
at the bottom of the bag.
that was the $1 that you found when you're doing your laundry, the $5 in your pocket that you didn't know you had, and you get excited. Listen, you have to listen. You can come here every Monday, get the tools, have great guests like Kanika. You can read the books, but if you don't do anything with it, I used to have this friend, may she rest in peace. She was a sister to me, and we went to college together. We were roommates together, and she would always say, I'm gonna move to Chicago. Right? She lived like maybe 6 hours away from Chicago. And she'd always say, when I get older, when this happens, she would read about Chicago. She would visit Chicago, but she's like, I'm always going to get to Chicago. And you know what? Unfortunately, her life ended before she ever got to Chicago.
Oh, wow.
But she was always talking about it, but never made the move. She could have plenty of times, right? And so I don't say that as a way to demean her experience, but we always talked about it, right? So don't just be talking about things like, I'm going to get the new job, I'm going to update my LinkedIn profile. Do that thing, because tomorrow isn't promised to us. Don't wait till the certification rolls back around. What are you going to do to prepare for it now? Maybe there's another program, a smaller boot camp, something, right? Don't wait for your Chicago. Nothing's ever going to be perfect for Chicago to come, right? Your Chicago is now. Okay. And so I just put that out to you. Don't wait for everything just to be perfect. You have everything you need right now. You are the perfection. You are the material. You just have to implement it.
Yes. I don't have a tambourine, but yes, sister.
Okay. So it's so important. And I know that, and I live for my Chicago every day, because I know how it can pass us by if we don't do those things. So whatever your goals are, don't wait for the right storm to come. Don't wait for just go and do it. You got the R's and you got the.
Sometimes we got to do it ugly. We have to do it ugly. And I think that that's the best advice that I could give people is like, don't wait for the right time to start looking for another job. Just go ahead and put your name in a hat.
Yes. Sometimes you gotta crawl to Chicago. Sometimes you got to, but you're gonna get there. And so we're here to just remind you that even during tough times, we can still build. We still have control. What part of the equation do you have? You have everything that Kanika told you. You get to solve that piece of it. You can't control who hired you, who doesn't, but you can control if your resume is tight. You can't control if your LinkedIn is set up. You can't control if you're going to the meetup groups or not. You can't control if you go to the happy hours at work and you drink seltzer water. You can control.
Yes, the water. Please drink the water. Yes.
Hydrate. We need you to stay hydrated. So that's, man, Kanika, I could talk to you all day and every day, but I just know that everybody got something out of it. I see the chat going bananas on all the platforms. And so you've given us so much, but any final thoughts before we jump into our bonus round?
I love the bonus round. So a few things I just wanted to share real quickly is network for your future and not your past. That's another thing that I think we keep focusing on. It's like, if you're trying to level up, sometimes you're going to leave some people behind. So network for your future and not your past. So whatever new direction you're going in, build a network, build a success squad, build relationships with people for your future. Because some people in your old career past, you're trying to be a new person. You're trying to do new things. So those old colleagues, those old relationships, like they call them career breakups, they may have to just end and you have to move on to develop new career relationships.
Absolutely. Oh, let me put Kanika's information in the chat. Okay. If you don't have Career Rehab, get it today.
You guys can order it on Amazon.
But listen, you've given us such good, because listen, everybody is going through something right now. And it lifted my spirits to have you on the show today. So I just hope that everybody just put some fire emojis, some ones. If you tag somebody, I know that even if you're not in the season right now where this might, apply to you, but in every season, we should always be prepared for whatever comes next. So, and continue to level up. So thank you for that. Kanika, you know that I am a lover of grits and rap lyrics, and and for those who may not know how you like your grits, how do you like your grits?
I just like my grits with just butter, salt, and pepper.
She's a real one. She's a real one.
No sugar. Sometimes cheese, but not really.
Yes, that's the only way. And wait, I have to ask, what sneakers do you have a favorite sneaker right now? For those who don't know, me and Kanika love our sneakers, and we used to be going hard in the paint on Twitter back and forth, but we had a lot of people infiltrating our conversation, so we've been like on chill mode a little bit. But any favorite sneaker you got right now?
No, I would say that definitely don't like those Air Force Ones, Tiffany's. But those are for you. I'm gonna leave those for you in your vibe, in your world. I think I'm gonna go for like a minimalist type sneaker feel for the spring, some Pumas, some throwback suede Pumas. I'm gonna go from like some Adidas. Like today I got on an Adidas hoodie, and Adidas is one of my favorite brands. Kind of looping us into this topic is because their slogan is impossible is nothing. I want y'all to really let this sink in. Your career search, your job search and what you're dealing with right now, anything is still possible for you. So we got to think about just do it. Nike, you got to just do it. You got to think about Adidas, impossible is nothing. There's nothing impossible or too big for what you're trying to do for your career. So lean into those brands and be a brand.
Period. Yes, we've been going back and forth. Tiffany and Nike just have a collaboration, and I'm trying to get my hands on a pair of those because I just love that Tiffany blue swish. It's nothing like it. And the other thing I'll say, I'm a Nike girl through and through. And if you haven't been, I did an ode to Chicago and Michael Jordan being year 2023. I took some pictures. If you don't follow me on Instagram, go to Minda Hearts, at Minda Hearts, and I did that. So I definitely love, and always in a Jordan vibe, but yes. I also took a departure and bought, I don't even know how you say it. It was my first pair, so forgive me. I'm such a Nike head, but is it Saucony? Do you know how you, that S? I'm not sure how you pronounce it.
Those, I saw those that you posted, the Sauconys.
Yes.
Saucony?
Saucony. I don't know how you say it.
Something like that. Yeah, I know. I love those. I think that those
are a new shoe that came out a couple months ago that just finally arrived at my house because it was on, I don't know, back order or something like that.
The colors were so dope.
The colors are so dope. They're kind of like a rainbow, kind of like spring, vibrant kind of color. And so I'm looking forward to wearing those. But I know
those are really good. Those are really good because you definitely need to give Jordan a break. You definitely need to spice it up.
Said I have to give a break.
I want to get you some New Balances because that's what we wear in the DMV is New Balances, and New Balances have done some collaborations. Yeah,
we're gonna go get some. But with a good bowl of grits and a good fresh pair of sneakers is a good rap lyric. What's your favorite rap lyric and why?
Well, it's hard to really say that I have a favorite, right? So every time you bring me on the show, I try to find a rap lyric that's kind of related to the topic. So everybody knows I'm a Barb. Yes, I'm a Barb. I'm a Nicki Minaj fan. So I'm going to try to quote a lyric from Seeing Green. Seeing Green is a song that with her, Drake, and Lil Wayne. And I feel like y'all gonna get some jobs. Y'all gonna be seeing green out here in these streets. And she has this one particular piece within her verse where she says, I am the star in any room that I stand in. I'm the standout. You just must stand in. I think when we think about layoffs and we think about everything that's going on in the job market, we have to believe that we are the star in any room that we stand in. They may have laid you off, but you still to stand out. That other person they kept just to stand in for right now. You know what I mean? So I think when we shift our mindset to seeing green, that we have to believe that in every job interview, every corporate room, every meeting, we are the star. Everybody else is just a copycat. We have to believe that as a brand.
That's actually my favorite line from that song. And I love Drake, but that is my favorite line from the song, because we are the stars, and anything else is like a substitute imitation of all the things. So reminding you, going into your week, if you're watching us live right now, but if you're going to watch the recap later on, take that energy with you. You are the star. Maybe people don't realize it right now, but that ain't got nothing to do with you. It's your mindset, how you walk into the space. So I love that, Kanika. And all of our stars watching us today are also leaders. They don't have to wait for somebody to give them the title. They don't have to wait for the promotion. They don't have to wait for somebody to give them employee of the week. Okay, they are leader on their own. What is one piece of advice you would give our leaders to make the workplace better than they found it?
So, you want my honest answer? Yeah, since we're talking about like layoffs and the job market right now, I honestly want employers and leaders to be more transparent with employees about what's happening when a potential layoff is about to happen. I was watching this YouTube, excuse me, I'm sorry, I was watching this Instagram video, and it was talking about how we were told that the employer, we're family. Oh, we're family. Oh yeah. No, you got a family. You're not family with your job, okay? And I think that organizations need to stop feeding people all of these dreams and making people feel like, oh, I would never lay you off. I would never get rid of you. I think just be transparent about the business and what's happening and the forecasting and the potential trends. And I think people can respect, if they do have to be laid off, they can respect it more when there's a level of transparency and there's a level of communication, instead of them just logging into their laptop and they can't get in. So that would be my advice to leaders moving forward.
100%. It's funny that you say that, because any chance I get to say it lately, I've been saying, you got to be transparent, because people they'll stick things out with you if they know what to expect. Just like going back to your dating jobs, right? If people are being cheaters, they're being unfaithful, they're not being honest about what's going on, then it's hard to build trust that way. It's hard to do your job with the most productivity when at any point somebody could come tap you on the shoulder or your access is denied. And so I think leaders have to be honest with people to say, you know what, times are tough right now, and we don't want to let everybody go, but we may have to do that. And here's what we're doing as that happens, right? Yeah. But to pretend that there's nothing to see here, we just gave you pizza last Friday, but that might be okay. Like it's like don't act that way with people. We're all adults, and they deserve that. People deserve humanity, dignity, equity, and respect at work.
Agreed.
Even if it's hard conversations, right? And so I thank you for reminding us of that.
Yes, I agree with you. Because relationships are, the job is friends with benefits. And sometimes the relationship will end. That's why when you're a brand, that you have the ability to create new relationships. An employee mindset will keep you in this place of desperation, and you will feel like life is over. You know how you break up with your first boyfriend and you thought life was over, right? It's the same thing with the job. If you're developing a solid brand, you'd be like, oh, okay, I'm going to let myself feel what I'm going to feel, but I'm going to get back on that job market, and I'm going to land me a new relationship with another employer.
Period. Because we are the asset. And once you understand that, then you move differently in the spaces, because you are the star. Kanika, appreciate you as always. Where can people find you, hire you, work with you? I've been dropping your information in the chat, but let them hear it from you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Before I get to that, I just want to say it's Women's Month, and I just want to recognize you publicly in front of the world, in front of the internet streets. You know how I feel about you, and I feel about our friendship. I just want to say thank you for always advocating for me and supporting me and doing all the great things that you do for us, putting me in the memo. I forgot what page I'm on, but I am in the memo. And I just want to say you are doing amazing work, and I love you and I support you. And last thing, find me in all internet streets at Kanika Tolver, every social media platform. I'm at Kanika Tolver. If you want to hire me, you can go to kanikatolver.com. If you feeling like you need to rehab your career for this job market, you can purchase Career Rehab, the book, on Amazon.com. Thank you so much.
Kanika, thank you so much. My words I can't even articulate. Now I'm like choked up over here how I feel about you. I know we don't get to talk as much as we normally do, but know that I see you. I appreciate you. I have so much love for you. If you need me, I will crawl to DMV to get to you if you need something. I send your mom my love. I have not seen her dance lately, but I hope that I will soon. And, I just appreciate you. So thank you for saying yes. The community here loves you. For those who are just learning about you, now you understand why I keep, between you and Steven, I don't know who's done the most shows. We're going to have to do like a
Hey, Steven.
But you guys are my favorites, and I just appreciate you because in this time period, we need real talk. We don't need no fluff. We don't need no BS. We just need it straight with no chaser. And I know that the community needed to hear from you, need to hear from the Lord today through you. So I wanted to make sure that we did that. So
I hope I did all right. I didn't see the they didn't pass the plate around yet.
They gonna connect with you. Follow Kanika right here on LinkedIn, and I'm gonna bring Mike up so we can do our affirmation and get on out of here. But thank you, Kanika. It was lovely having you today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye. Oh, that was so good. My soul is fed. I hope you all are too. Tag somebody on LinkedIn so that they can get some of this goodness too. I'm going to bring Mike up with our new affirmation for the month of March. Michael Hartz. I'm still reeling from church service. The doors of the church are open. Michael, please do the benediction for the month of March.
You already know what time it is. We're kicking this month off strong for sure. But we talk about these affirmations a lot, and we go on. And I've been working on a webinar that I'll be releasing hopefully this Sunday. And one of the things that I want to be talking about is trying to change our mindsets from only seeing our current situation to seeing our future. A lot of times we get into these habits of this is where I'll always be. This is what I deserve, and something is wrong with me. These are the habits that maybe I did something in my past to deserve this treatment. But a lot of the things we speak upon ourselves are wrong mindsets and wrong thinking. Our affirmation for this month is there is nothing wrong with me. There's zero wrong with me. And if you continue to perpetuate this same thinking and these same thought processes that this is just my luck. Well, this would only happen to me. I would go to a grocery store and all the lines be shut down. This kind of stuff only happens to me. We continue to say that over and over. You know what? That stuff is going to keep happening to you. I promise. Whatever can go wrong will go wrong. But I want you to speak this over your life. There is nothing wrong with me. There ain't nothing wrong with my mind. There's nothing wrong with my body. There's nothing wrong. I am not unrepairable. What I've done in my past has already been forgiven. My future is brighter than anything I've been through. There is nothing wrong with me. We have to profess that. We have to proclaim that. We have to begin to speak that over our lives, over our family, over our jobs. There is nothing wrong with me. Have you seen some of the people who've had success? Have you seen them? I'm not trying to be funny. I'm really not trying to be funny. But have you seen some of the people who've had success? And you think you're not as smart as them? You think you're not as talented? There's people who are running Twitter today that have some major issues. I'm not trying to name names, but there's some people at the heads of companies today that I guarantee you could do a better job. But you just haven't had that opportunity. You haven't had that moment. You're not in that seat yet. But while you're preparing for your position of greatness, understand there is nothing wrong with you. You're perfectly and wonderfully made. You are beautifully and wonderfully made, created in his image. You got this. You got this. You got this.
Listen, you know what? I understand what the Lord is saying to me today, because see, I didn't go to church yesterday. And so Kanika, she came and gave the sermon. Michael closed out the sermon, and now I'm being reminded why I should have had my buns at the church seat instead I was at the Laker Warriors game. Okay, I get it. I'm having church right now. I'm getting it right.
They won though. They won though.
Thank you for that. So listen, there's nothing wrong with you. You might have got laid off last month. Doesn't mean something's wrong with you. There's things going on that have nothing to do with you in those spaces, okay? They didn't maybe choose you for the promotion. There's nothing wrong with you, right? When I was younger, I used to go to, when I was shorter, I used to go to like Disneyland or Six Flags, and there were a time where I didn't hit the line. You know, I wasn't tall enough to ride all the rides I wanted to ride. And I would always think something was wrong with me, right? I'm shorter than everybody. I'm this and this and this. And then I realized that my height is an advantage, right? And then I started to say, I love my height. And even when people take pictures with me and they try to scooch down, like they're taller than me, and they try to like get down like I'm some like 5-year-old child, I'm like, no, stand up, because I'm standing up. I want you to stand up with me. There's nothing wrong with me, right? And so I know I'm being a little facetious, but those things happen. And so I'm telling you, there's nothing wrong with you. You have everything you need. And so let's put that in our spirit. Don't let anybody tell you differently. All right. And so again, we just thank you for that affirmation, Michael. I know we went a little longer than we normally do, but we all needed this today. And so I just want to send you all love. Keep secure in your seat. Watch this again. Share it with somebody, and we will see you next Monday. Happy Women's History Month.